Hey everybody, Dave Lindbergh in Hong Kong with another episode of the THD podcast. Today we are going to be talking with Barry Vogel from ALTI, the Audio and Loudspeaker Technologies International. It's formerly known as ALMA. So Barry is the president, CEO of that organization. So as always, we have our guest host from Japan. And Simon's having some parental support this morning. It's a classic Zoom thing during this pandemic. So how are you doing today, Simon?
Chirpy, I'd say today, Dave.
Chirpy. Okay, that sounds like a Kiwi kind of thing to say. And a special guest today, Mr. Barry Vogel, calling in from the Phoenix area in Arizona. How are you doing today, Barry?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Great. So yeah, I guess the news to the public is there's been an alignment between THD Podcast and ALTI to help become some kind of a new media outlet, perhaps for some of your guests to promote your members to promote their technology. So I guess it's important that we introduce ALTI and tell people a bit about the history and what some of the benefits that they can experience by becoming members. So I guess, tell us about yourself and the organization, please.
Sure. So ALTI started out as ALMA. That was the American Loudspeaker Manufacturing Association. And that was 60 years ago, this year. And basically, it was meant to represent technology in the loudspeaker industry based in the United States. Of course, over the course of time, we finally realized that most of that is coming from outside of the United States. So we changed it to the Association of Loudspeaker Manufacturing and Acoustics International in order to encompass a global market. Now, the good news and the bad news is that we've been around for a very long time. The bad news is we've been around for a very long time. So either the industry that knows us kind of pigeonholed us into what they thought we were and who they thought we were. And that's what really brought about the change to ALTI. Because first of all, the loudspeaker industry, no part of the audio signal chain stands alone anymore. It's all interconnected. You almost can't design a loudspeaker anymore without taking into consideration DSP and signal processing. And so we have changed the focus of the association to loudspeaker-centric, but the entire audio signal chain. The second big change is we were always about engineering before. And, well, that's great. Great engineering is what gets you great product and great advances. But if you're not selling it, no one's going to be designing it. So we decided that we had to encompass the business end of the business as well. It's not just enough to have great product. We have to help our members to sell it, to market it, make connections with each other, and to put it out there in the field. ALTI is about that. We are about serving our members. And one of the biggest advantages for ALTI is we're a smaller organization. We can be flexible. When a member calls us up and say, hey, we need to do something different, my reply is, fine, what would you like to do? We don't have any cookie cutter programs. We don't have things that we're locked into little boxes and corners. So we can do the things that are necessary to help our members. And one of the things that we shine at is helping new technology, new entrepreneurs introduce their products to the industry. We help them to make the connections they need. We feature them at our trade shows. So we do a lot of things that will really help our members to connect, to grow, to do business, and promoting the technology. We're a lot more than what we used to be. I hope that wasn't too long-winded an explanation.
No, that's good. But if we look back at the name, the American Loudspeaker Manufacturers and now Audio and Loudspeaker Technologies International, have you seen a transition to more global or client-based or member-based than previous?
Interesting that you say that, because until about 2 or 3 weeks ago, my answer would have been, I'm really not sure. But over the last few weeks, we've been contacted by people from all over the world. some companies that I was after for ages and just never responded, companies that I'd never heard of. And we've got a few new technologies that we're going to be instrumental in introducing this year because of that as well. The answer is yes, it is making a difference. I'm not sure if it's the name change so much as the message. The message is out there that we're doing things, that we're pushing the envelope, and we're going to do whatever it takes to help our members.
Okay, interesting.
So you mentioned, you mentioned focus on loudspeakers. In that sense, you mean home audio type of gear or PA gear as opposed to headphones, or do you just encompass all of that now?
Well, actually, we've always encompassed all of that. Basically, when I explain it to somebody who doesn't know anything about audio at all, I say if it makes noise, we're in it.
Okay.
From the beeper and the microwave to the professional systems in stadiums and everything in between. And headphones is a very big part of what we're involved in.
Yep. Excellent.
Okay. Interesting.
And by the way, microphones and that sort, anything in the audio signal chain.
Okay. Got it.
All right.
And then, so you also mentioned other technologies, DSP or amplifiers and things like that. Was that part of AMA, or have you sort of introduced that element to it more recently? That is to say, the electronic side.
I'm sorry, I missed part of that.
The electronics side of it, amplifiers, DSP, etc. Was that historically also something that AMA focused on, or have you introduced that more recently?
That's something we introduced more recently. There's a careful balance that we wanted to strike, because we really do have a very historical membership of people in the loudspeaker industry. We're certainly not wanting them to think that we're walking away from them or somehow doing less. So we're still loudspeaker centric, but we're expanding beyond just the loudspeaker.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay. And so what kind of, like, as joining a member, what kind of features do people get? I know there's a trade show once or maybe more twice a year. What else can they expect to get as a member?
So I've been part of a lot of associations as a member. I was in the retail industry for a while, in manufacturing, so I've done a lot of different things. And associations love to offer benefits. They just love to have pages and pages of benefits, 99% of which nobody ever uses. So we looked at that and said, okay, what would I want from an association? So we do things like our corporate and sustaining members, they get free press releases in our newsletter and on our website, product announcements, company news, any of that stuff, no charge for that. It goes into our newsletter weekly and on our website. We offer to host webinars. Now, most companies can certainly host their own webinars. They don't need us for that. But we offer a different audience than they may get for themselves. So and plus we also offer them the PR to promote that webinar. No charge for that. It's included in their membership. We also introduced something new that we called Audio Grounds, and it's meant to be a virtual coffee break. These are less structured, live, set, kind of like these podcasts, except live and in person. And you can get together and talk about your product, your technology, or what's going on in the company, answer questions directly. Also a free service from our association. Beyond that, yes, members do get discounts at our trade show. That's ALTI Expo, which this year is going to be in October. And starting this year, for the first time, we're hosting an automotive audio conference in Munich in September. And this is a very big thing for us. We've been trying to do something in Europe for a long time, and we're really looking forward to that. I look forward to other things in other parts of the world as well. We want to promote this. One of the issues that I found is amidst a world of DSP and all of the other electronics, loudspeakers have been treated like the redheaded stepchild. Like, yeah, we've been there. They were invented like 140 years ago, and that's all done. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of innovation going on. There's a lot of invention going on. That industry is being turned on its ear. And frankly, if not for us, I don't know who would be really driving attention to what's really going on there. There's some exciting stuff in the loudspeaker industry.
Yeah, that's a good segue into we're hoping to talk to those people with all the exciting stuff on this podcast. Part of our mission here is to go deep on discussing about the technologies in speakers, whether it be DSP, whether it be diaphragm materials, assembly processes, whatever it might be. We're very interested to talk to all your members. So that's exciting stuff.
Well, and I have to tell you that was one of the reasons why I think that what we're starting here is going to be a great added benefit for our members and very beneficial to them. It's just another way to connect. And especially in the COVID universe, the more ways you can find to reach out and touch people, the better. And I think that even after we get back to in-person meetings and traveling again, I still think that this virtual environment is going to continue to thrive. So I'm really happy to offer the service, and I will be reaching out to our members with that this week, as a matter of fact. We have issued the announcement in our newsletter, but I'm going to write a little bit of an article and invite some people to participate, without a doubt.
Okay. And by coincidence, so we've had a few of your members already on the podcast. I believe Knowles and USound and Ollie Wolf are members already. So it's kind of just fits the mold that we want to do with this media vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Did you want to talk about the dates of your events, and maybe we could start placing bets on it? Not to be negative, but
there's an interesting thing. We had all of our exhibitors booked for last year's event, and of course, like everyone else, it got canceled. So then our normal month for it is in June, and we scheduled the event for this June. And people kept asking me, "Are you going to keep it in June? Are you going to keep?" And we were actually pretty hopeful that people would be starting to get back to normal. And the truth is, I think that we may be only a month or two off. I think that things will start by the end of summer. So this move, it's a one-time move, October 24th and 25th, and that's going to be in Orlando, Florida.
Okay,
and,
so you picked the right state.
That's true.
Well, especially in October, it's actually really nice in Orlando.
Yeah.
And it's also going to be just before the InfoCom, which we coordinate with them. We share some assets and do some presentations with them as well. And so we're really looking forward to that. And now it just so happens that, again, because of all this, the ALTI Automotive Audio Conference, that would usually be in May. Same reason, that got pushed as well. So that's going to be September 9th and 10th in Munich. And the very cool part about that show that I'm pretty excited about is we're going to be co-locating with the high-end show and the International Parts Supply Show. And right across town is the International Audio Show. The International Auto Show. So it's going to be a very, very eventful 4 or 5 days in Munich. And we think that we're going to see a lot of traffic from this event, and it's going to become a regular thing.
Okay.
What goes into putting together a trade show, Barry? Pretty huge undertaking. What goes into putting together a trade show? Is it a pretty big undertaking?
The answer to your question is it's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
I do most of the heavy lifting, but not all. I do have some help. I have some people that pitch in to help me gather presenters and that sort of thing. Our presenters are almost 100% volunteers, part of the organization. But after having done it for so many years, it's not really difficult for me because I just know. And frankly, within 2 weeks after one show ends, I start planning the next one. So I give myself plenty of time to put this together, but also to make sure it's put together right. And we're hoping to have you guys there to do some podcasts at the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.
A live stream from the show, perhaps. Let's see here. Why don't we show people your website so people can check out the ALTI website, and it is ALTI ASSOC.org. So this is your website with all the information. And there's the podcast that we're partnering on here now, THD, and some information on the upcoming events. So we encourage people to go check out your website.
If I would like to mention, because you scrolled by it, the incubator program. It's something that we're really excited about. So ALTI has always had a really good track record of introducing new companies and new technology and that sort of thing. But we never actually put together a formal program. It just kind of came together organically from the people in the association. We finally decided that it's time to be a little more organized with this. So the incubator program, it's only meant for first-year members. It's meant for new companies, new technology, entrepreneurs, to basically give them a boost into the industry. A one-time fee that's discounted gives them a booth at our show, gives them a year of membership, gets them all of the normal benefits. We showcase them and their product at our show. We also have free consultations with everyone from marketing people to finance people to industry consultants, all at the show, included in the cost. So it really gives them a boost. And again, none of this is really new. We just never put it all together into a package before. And we're really excited about this. We have a couple of really big introductions that we're going to be doing at the show. One of them we actually introduced in a webinar this week. Widened Technologies has a new loudspeaker technology that we think is going to be a market disruptor for several different parts of the audio industry. And there's some others that I can't announce yet. But Incubator, I think, is going to be really popular, both for the people who are there to sell their product, but also, I think, for people who buy new technology and want to license and that sort of thing. So we're looking forward to that.
Okay. Very good. Anything else you'd like to ask, Simon?
So, we were talking whenever just recently about membership from China and Chinese industry. You got any comments on that shift from Western-based manufacturing to Chinese-based manufacturing and how that affects?
So I'm going to be completely straight and say that we've had difficulty engaging Asian manufacturers. We do have some Asian members in the association. But I've always had difficulty communicating the fact that, no, we don't buy or sell anything, but we help our members to connect with the people who do. And I am working on that. I want to strengthen our position in Asia. I want to show in Asia. We are working on setting up an ALTI Europe, a European-centric ALTI. We would love to do the same in Asia. And but I'm also recognizing that I need some help to get that done. And we're going to work toward that. I just assumed ownership of this association last July. And I had made myself a promise that I would not dive in too deep so that I could not get things done properly. So, of course, I'm into 5 more projects than I planned on already. But so the answer to your question is, of course, Asia is a center for audio manufacturing. We want to be there, and we want to be engaged in that.
Are you aware of any, let's say, competing association for? I'm going to focus on China, basically. Are you aware of any competing association? I'm not. I don't know that there is.
So here, I can only speak from what I've been told. I've been told that there is an association based in China. They don't do business the way traditional associations that I know of, but apparently there is something. And I think the big issue here is if we were able to show a Chinese manufacturer what happens at one of our shows and how those connections get made and how sales get made. And the way that we can help them to promote their product virtually as well. I think that we can change minds, but obviously there's a language barrier and a culture barrier at times. So we're doing our best. We really do want to connect in Asia. You can't be in this business and not somehow be involved in Asia.
Totally.
So that is a goal, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that the marketing arm of Asian manufacturers, they tend to like trade shows that are established, where they can present their wares and it makes sense to them. It's kind of like an interaction with the customer. The kind of association where you're in a network of others is a little bit of a stretch, I think, for them to grasp at this point. But if I would offer advice, I would say get involved with one of the existing exhibitions, whether it be Computex or Hong Kong Show or something in with the Pro Light and Sound Group or something like that. And kind of like, I like your strategy of anchoring off of Infocom and the high-end show. Those are very, very strong marketing principles, similar to putting your pet store next to a Safeway or whatever. It's an anchor.
Indeed. Well,
Cool.
Certainly, I think that probably a first step would be somehow associating with an existing show. It's just easier to do. I think one of those other misconceptions that are out there is because we're a smaller organization, and by the way, we don't want to be an Infocom or a Hong Kong show. We don't want to, because those shows, yes, you have thousands and thousands of people. You don't have time to talk to anybody. You don't have any real business getting done unless you're one of the big guys. Then you get all the attention you want. At our show, it's a smaller show, and you don't have thousands and thousands of people going by your booth, but every single person that walks by your booth is a potential customer, not just a looker. And the fact of the matter is, it must be productive because our core of exhibitors have been coming back year after year for over 20 years.
Right. Okay.
So we think that we have a pretty good package. Again, we just have to communicate it better, and that's what you're helping me do.
No, exactly. That's great. So people can find you on different media platforms beyond this podcast. So we have a LinkedIn page, your website we mentioned earlier, Twitter. Where else can people find you?
I am so embarrassed. We don't do Twitter. I believe that somebody did set up a Twitter account. I have to be honest enough to tell you, I don't think I've ever used it. We are on LinkedIn. We have a Facebook account for those who want to use it. And we'll probably expand to other types of media as we go along. But frankly, I'm hoping to expand my employees in order to get better coverage in media because I'm handling all of it right now.
Right. Okay.
I kind of feel that. So you mentioned just on that topic of Twitter and what you're doing as an organization, because if you put up a Facebook page for your company and you're promoting things, it just goes into the noise, really, doesn't it? Whereas a ALTI type of membership, you actually get a focused audience. It doesn't just fill with noise.
I will say that in the realm of social media, LinkedIn has actually worked pretty well for us. And I'm not going to try and figure out why that is, but it does. I know that we promote our webinars and that sort of thing in our newsletter and on our website, and I can pretty much track registrations after the newsletter breaks, or that sort of thing. And every time I place another ad in LinkedIn, I have another run of people who register, so I know that it works.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely. For this podcast, the LinkedIn we get the most views out of that by far. So
yeah,
okay.
I think it's a little more focused audience. We have a Facebook site, frankly, because it doesn't cost anything, and we have nothing to lose by doing it. I can't tell you that we have a heck of a lot of engagement there. It's mostly LinkedIn.
Yeah, people want to see cooking videos on Facebook, so this is. So if we could blend cooking and audio. I used to be a DJ, and I'll never forget that, where I thought the ultimate gig would be a bartender / DJ. And and of course the spill damage would be horrible for your mixer. So I once walked into a pub and the DJ had a spill guard over his mixer, and he was selling shots out of the DJ booth.
I love it.
So we'll have to do a video on that for fun someday. But okay, I think that's a lot of good information on ALTI. We'll put your contact information in the description below, and we encourage people to like, subscribe, and share. And I think Simon and I are really excited to having some of the ALTI members on here to help promote their technologies and learn more about them.
Most certainly.
Oh, and I appreciate the opportunity. I'm looking forward to working with you, gentlemen.
Okay. All right, everybody. Take care of yourself and keep in touch. Thanks. Have a great day.
Bye now.